Hi there, it's Mr. Clark. Welcome to lesson 6.2.2 on third species counterpoint. So, first species was whole notes, second species was half notes, third species is now quarter notes. Surprise, surprise. So, here are some examples that you can take a look at, and hopefully you've already experienced third species in Artusi and have it in your ears a little bit how all this sounds. I would play them, but I don't want the video to get too long, don't want to take up your time that way. So, rhythm, quarter notes in the counterpoint, and harmonic intervals. Still, we can only have consonances on our strong beats, but any of these three quarter notes can be dissonances. And there are specific ways. Beginning, same as first species. You can start on the downbeat as these all do. You can also start with a quarter rest instead, the same way you could start with a half rest in second species. And again, it's generally preferred to start with a quarter rest, even though all of these examples don't. So maybe I should look into fixing that. That's something for future Mr. Clark to worry about. So, ending. The last note must be unison or octave, same as always. The next to last measure must be 4 quarter notes. There's no, oh, it could be 2 half notes or whole, none of that business we had in second species. Must be 4 quarter notes. Then in the middle, all of your second species options still exist. There are also some new options, which involve 5 quarter notes from one downbeat to the next downbeat in a specific pattern. Option 5. So we've had our 4 options from second species, so our 5th option is now a cambiata. And you start on the downbeat with the consonants. You move up by step to a dissonance. Skip down by a third, then move up by step to beat 4, and up by step again to the downbeat. This breaks the rule since you're skipping from a dissonance instead of resolving it immediately, but it's allowed as an idiomatic figure. So I'm not seeing this occur anywhere here, so let me give an example of what that would look like. So you start on a consonance, you move down by a step to a dissonance, so from 5 to 4, that's a dissonance. Actually, that doesn't say. Oh no, I forgot what this is. This is correct. We're good. Okay. So you're going to skip down by a third. So that would be down to a B or a B flat. Then move up by step to beat 4, and then up by step again to the downbeat. So that would be. And then this has to land on a consonance, which it does, because F to D is a 6th there. So 5, 4, 2, 3, 6. So these are both dissonances. Normally you wouldn't be allowed to skip between dissonances. That breaks the rule. And then the other thing that I was thinking about is this double neighbor figure, where you start on a downbeat, move by step to a neighbor tone. So I'm going to go here, step to a neighbor tone, skip in the opposite direction to the other neighbor tone, then resolve by step to the original chord tone. So now I have F, G, E, F, and then continue by step in the same direction to the next downbeat. So this is not a good place because I end up with a dissonance on my next downbeat. So that's not going to work. I have to find some other place to do it. So I went up that time. Maybe I start by going down this time. Oh, it's already going down here. Great. So F, E, G, F, and then I continue by step in the same direction, and I get to an E. Oof, that's not a good place either. So let's see where could be a good place. Here's looking like a good place because I start there and I resolve up. So all I would have to do is change that. E, F, D, E, F. Now I have a double neighbor figure here. Great! Consonant skips are less common, more of an emphasis on passing in neighbor tones now, as well as these new figures. Usually over bar lines, you're going to want to move by step, save any leaps you have for within a bar, same idea as second species. So in terms of parallels, you want to watch coming from beat 1, beat 3, or beat 4 to the next downbeat and compare all of those. So it's a lot to keep track of. Artusi will do a really good job of keeping track of it for you. If you're writing one of these from scratch, what I would recommend is starting with the first species framework, and then, or starting from a second species framework, and then kind of filling in the gaps with quarter notes. In order for it to flow nicely, you want to think in groups of 5 from one downbeat to the next, and make sure that you can clearly identify all the dissonances. We can't have any mystery dissonances. That isn't allowed. Same as always. So this is a checklist if you're doing things by hand. I just like this quote. A well-crafted third species counterpoint creates the feeling of soaring, like a raptor, floating on the thermals, swooping downward, then soaring upward. This effect is made from primarily stepwise motion, as I've been saying, enlivened by judiciously placed skips, usually in the middle of a measure, and employment of a properly placed and prepared leap. Oh! Counterpoints that are too conservative, occupying a narrow range or exclusively stepwise, will not soar. So this is getting into the aesthetic thing, where even if it follows all the rules, it might not be a good counterpoint because it's just boring. So play around with it so that it follows the rules and it sounds good. Remember, our points of counterpoint, we want it to be easy to sing, but also fun. Sounds good. So that's what I have for you today. I'll see you next time.